Hey YouTube, figured I'd make a quick video on this Aimpoint Micro T1. I just received it about a week and a half ago, haven't had a chance to make a vid. This is the box they come in. Not really going to do an unboxing or anything, I couldn't wait to get it on the gun. You can see the box is fairly small, give you an idea what the sight's like. I couldn't believe it was this small when I got it. Inside, when you open, you'll find it well packaged and set up with foam. It'll come with this tool, which is outstanding. I'll get more into that in a minute. There'll be a battery in this spot. It's a flat coin battery, and this is the mount that originally came on the T1. It also comes on the H1 and I believe the R1, all the same. It is a hex head, or not hex head, but a Torx bit with 4 screws that go directly into the base of the sight. And then you would have that to take it on and off. Of course, not permanently attached, but by no means a quick release. You can carry this with you, which is easy to pack and is very, very well built and nice, other than I broke mine for being an idiot. I say it's like a T3 size, guessing, not really sure. Just to give you guys the idea. There's the fit. This thing had 2 nubs on the top for windage and elevation adjustment. I can tell you now, mine only has 1 because it's not made for the battery door. But I did find out that if you use it for the battery door this way, you will break it. And if I'd have took another 15 seconds, I would have realized they made it for the battery door as well. It's all encompassing. It's a really good tool. Turn on, off, put your coin battery in. You'll notice the edges of mine are scuffed up a bit. I had first tried it with the nub on there and broke it, and then next tried it with the spine of the Insingo. And I know you Spenza guys can cringe when I say that, but you know what? It is what it is. So, get this stuff out of the way. Oh, wait a minute. The last part I want to show you for the tool is you see the nubs here? They're the same. So if you're to take your adjustments, let's see if I can get this with one hand here. 1 second, bear with me. Wow, that light is bright. Alright. See, the nubs on here would correspond perfectly with the adjustments. And with the little bit I have left, it would still work. But I don't see any need for it because it'll always have the caps. Let's see if I can get my finger out of the way. Bear with me here. The caps have the nubs on the back as well. And I don't know if I can do both at the same time here. It kind of locks in place. So, I mean, it's not the tightest thing. I wouldn't shoot it with it on there. But it turns you into, let's see if I can get it. It gives you the right and up with the arrow, so you know which way you're going, and an easy twist. Which I believe it's 1/2 minute of angle adjustments at 100 yards. Not bad for a red dot. I'm happy with it. So, aside from that, I purchased a Larue Mount. This is going to be more than one part. I'm already at 4.5 minutes, give or take. I purchased a Larue Mount for mine, and I'll get into the reasons why later. But I like the quick release on there, and I liked the bottom opened up and not blocking out the field of view with the box. I may be giving up something for strength. The boxed out one would probably be almost impossible to bend or shift. This one, just being on that spine, could probably be more easily bent if you really, really beat it on something. I just doubt it's going to happen, and that's why I went with it. Larue's a big name, the biggest probably. And although GG&G and Arms specifically have been good to me with my other builds, I like this one. The part number on this is LT751. See if I can get it in there better. And it's Larue, made in the USA, with their quick release, which locks. You got to slide this back, and then it moves. And it's about the smoothest one to take on and off that I've ever used. But we'll get back to that. The 751 is their absolute co-witness height, which means that looking through the dot, it'll be at the same height as your sights. Now, I am aware of there being pretty much two methods: absolute co-witness, which is what this one is, and lower 1/3 co-witness. It's my understanding that you use the lower 1/3 co-witness when you have a fixed front sight, because you don't want the sight blocking your view through the reticle. That's why the lower 1/3 there, you'll be looking over the top of it and still seeing the dot above the sight. But with folding sights, especially the front sight base, I mean, the rears you can go either way on. If you had a fixed rear or not for the lower 1/3, I guess it wouldn't make a difference. But with a folding front sight, you don't have to keep it as high to get over the front sight post. So you can lower it to the gun, closer to the bore, and not hanging as far off the rifle where it's as likely to get beat on something or caught up. And that way, the red dot is sitting pretty much directly on top of the front sight post when the sights are flipped up. When they're flipped down, which there are 99% of the time, you're running this, sights are out of the way, and you got a lower profile weapon, which is what I preferred. And I believe this mount is lighter than the full box out mounts. According to Larue's site, it's lighter than their mount. Maybe not for other manufacturers. All being said, though, the sights are going to be down 99% of the time. So I wanted to keep the overall profile of the weapon as light as possible, which went with this. Otherwise, the ACOG would have got bought and put on there as well. I put the ACOG on that rifle for the first 4 shots to see how it did, and it was amazing. 4 shots, same hole. So to keep the gun light, I went with the T1, and I also thought about what I'd be using that rifle for. God forbid I ever needed to use that rifle other than fun, and the T1's going to fit the bill. So you're looking at a 4 MOA dot. I'd have been happy if they made a 2, but 4 seems to be it. And there is, I think, 5. They say 6, but I can see the 6th one. 5 positions of night vision capable settings, and then the rest, all the way up to 12, are for standard use. I find 8 to be sufficient, 9 is great, 7 works just fine, and 12 is absurd. You'll probably never need it. It's so bright that it basically turns the whole thing into a red dot. I mean, the entire reticle, it's huge. But other than that, the T1 was something around 3.5 ounces with the mount, maybe 3.8 with their mount. The Larue Mount, I'm not sure on the weight, but the whole thing together, I'm going to say is under 5. I've had pocket knives that weighed more than this. So that's a quick look at the mount and at the sight that I'm going to use, and I'll get more into it in a few moments on another part.